Our main form of communication underwater is hand signals, but how do we talk in the dark? Hi all of you awesome scuba divers out there, welcome to the Scuba Diver Magazine channel, your favourite place for the latest scuba diving news and gear reviews. An essential part of a scuba diver's equipment today is a good dive torch, and I carry at least one with me on every dive, whether it's a night dive or whether it's the middle of the day in the tropics, because one, you can sometimes find a dark corner underwater where you might need some extra light to see. Two, if I'm ever lost at sea and the day turns to night, that light is going to increase my chances of being seen. And three, your torch beam can help you reach out and communicate with other divers at a distance. One handy thing about night diving is that you can usually tell which direction your buddy is looking by where their torch beam is pointing. If the torch beam, you can see their beam is pointing over there, you know they're looking in that direction. So if you cross that beam with your own light, then you can draw their attention to you. And be very aware of what your torch beam may be telling other divers around you. It's one method of passive communication in a diving team. If I can always see your diving torch beam in my peripheral, then I know roughly where you are. If it suddenly disappears, I know that you've either turned around or you've stopped, and I might need to check on you. But if your torch beam is moving around nice and smoothly, just kind of scanning around, I know everything's okay. If it suddenly gets jerky, then something might be wrong and I might need to help. So when you're using a torch, try to keep your movements as smooth and calm as possible unless there is something wrong and you do need to get someone's attention. It's always important that you never shine your torch directly at the eyes of another diver or marine life as well. With marine life, they'll just scatter and you'll just have a really boring dive. If you shine a light right at another diver, you're just going to blind them and you're not going to make any friends that way. The same goes for shining your torch on your own gauges. A lot of them have white or even just the glass on the front. It's got a white face. You see some gauges nowadays, they have a black face that's helping to reduce the amount of glare, but you still have a piece of glass over the top of it. So even shining on that, just try to guard it a little bit so that you're shining the torch, and when you are actually shining your light, don't actually look at it because you're just going to blind yourself. So if you want to charge up that luminescent dial, hold it down out of the way, move the torch back, and then look at it. Don't look as you're shining the torch because you'll just blind yourself. It's another reason to invest in a spotlight beam more than a floodlight torch beam. Floodlights just blind everybody in front of you evenly. Spotlights are much more targeted, so it's a lot easier to avoid shining the torch beam at your buddy or another diver and accidentally blinding them, whereas if you've got a floodlight, literally everyone in front of you is going to be blinded. The first signal that we need to do is to get our buddy's attention. So that's a smooth up-down movement. I kind of think of it as like a head tilt, kind of like, hey, just to let them know that you want to say something. It's only one, or if they're not paying attention, then just keep doing it, but don't be too frantic, obviously, just little head bobs. If they're facing away from you, then they should see that beam running up and down them, and they should turn around to see what you want to say. You'll be surprised at how much that light is quite obvious from behind. Our fundamental OK hand signal is a circular movement. Same as the hand signal, it's a question and an answer. If someone lassos you, they're asking if you're okay, and then you just give them back a good circle. It's good to kind of accentuate your torch beam a bit so that they can tell you're making a circle and don't look like you're kind of shaking the beam around, because that jerky movement tends to mean panic or that something's wrong. The official light signal for there's something wrong is a wave your light from side to side. So if you still have your composure then a nice smooth side to side is asking for help. If a diver is truly panicking, then they're going to be much more frantic, and they may not be perfectly horizontal side to side, but just if you see side to side movement and it's not just them scanning and looking around, be prepared to donate a second stage. If you've lost your buddy, then we have what I call the lighthouse, similar to the standard buddy separation drill where you stop where you are and you turn on the spot looking for signs of your buddy. Do that for a minute and then you surface, rotate on the spot while shining your torch outwards, a bit like a lighthouse. In a perfect world, you'll see your buddy doing the same thing and then you just reconvene. Everything else about light signals underwater is to basically shine your light on it. If it's a one-hand light signal, then you can shine your light on yourself. If it requires two hands, then you can either sort of break down the signal. So if you want to do a safety stop at 5 meters, for example, you can say stop, level, 5 meters, and just kind of break it all down. Otherwise, your buddy needs to illuminate you themselves so that you can communicate with both hands. At the end of the dive, I usually shine my torch upwards to my DSMB on the surface as I'm ascending to try and illuminate it and illuminate that spot of water as much as possible. When you're diving at night, you want to be sure that any boats in the area know that you're there, and even if you've got a bright orange sausage DSMB, like 3 meters tall, sticking out of the water, if it's not illuminated and they're not shining a light on it, they're not going to see it. So if you can, try to shine your light on it as you're ascending. Once you reach the surface, then you want to make sure that you've been seen by all the boats or the shoreline in the area. So I usually run a slow lighthouse just in a circle around me. And then once you find your boat, give it a head tilt to make sure that they know that you're their diver and you want them to pick you up. And once they've kind of acknowledged, then just kind of shine the torch on yourself, on top of your head. That's a bit of an I'm okay sign, but it also illuminates you. So sometimes I actually shine my torch into my DSMB next to me because it's a bit taller than just my head sticking out of the water, so that the DSMB glows and any boats in the front or behind you or wherever it is can see you there. Your boat needs to be able to see you as they're approaching so that they know how quickly and when to like slow down, and any other traveling boats around you, you want to make sure that they can see you and not just think that they've hit a hard wave when it's actually a noggin. If there's something wrong, then again, the waving is just universal sign for I need help, any kind of repeated flashing. And that really is about it for light signals. The 3 main light signals are a circle for okay, up, down is for attention, you're trying to get someone's attention, and then side to side for if there's a problem. Everything else is basically using your torch to illuminate yourself so that other divers can see you. Just be careful not to blind yourself or other divers, so as to always try to point your beam slightly off to one side so that they get the corona instead of the full beam of your torch. If you are in the market for a new diving torch, then it's worth checking out today's sponsor, Scuba.com. Scuba.com is your one-stop shop for everything underwater. Whether you're a seasoned scuba diving pro or just starting to explore the wonders of the deep, Scuba.com has everything that you need. Browse their extensive selection of scuba and snorkeling equipment from leading brands. Find masks, fins, BCDs, wetsuits and regulators and everything else that you need for a comfortable and safe dive. Scuba.com's team consists of highly trained and experienced professionals who have dived all over the world. Get personalized recommendations for the perfect gear, no matter your diving destination or style. Ready to take the plunge? Scuba.com offers scuba diving classes from all levels, from beginner open water diver certification to advanced technical diving courses. If you're looking for the ultimate underwater adventure, Scuba.com curates diving trips around the globe to exotic destinations. Dive into a world of possibilities with Scuba.com. And you can always head over to our website, scubadivermag.com, for the latest scuba diving news and equipment reviews, and of course subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. Thank you for watching everybody, and of course, safe diving.